Welcome back to Superbly Said, Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Glad to be here, as always.
Yeah, we've got a great deep dive today. Just a quick note before we jump in. Today's material is actually drawn from a really fantastic SpeakDuo lesson.
Oh, yeah, they have great stuff.
They really do. And if you're looking to actively practice your language skills, you can just go to SpeakDuo.com. It's a great place to meet new people from all around the world who are, practicing English on video calls to become more confident with their speaking abilities.
Highly recommend it.
For sure. But today we are jumping right in. This exploration is designed specifically for you, the advanced English learner. We are looking to add some real nuance to your vocabulary today.
Right, because at an advanced level, it's not just about, basic grammar anymore. It's about choices.
Exactly. And speaking of choices, okay, let's unpack this. Our first phrase today is lesser of two evils.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
Right, but I've actually always struggled with this one because it feels so, pessimistic.
It is a bit dark, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it sometimes better or at least more professional to just say you are making the best of a bad situation? Why choose language that anchors you to the word evil?
Well, that's a totally natural reaction, but those two phrases actually serve entirely different functions.
How so?
So making the best of a bad situation, that requires you to find a silver lining. It implies optimism, right? Like you are actively trying to extract something positive from a complete mess.
Okay, yeah.
But the lesser of two evils, that is a phrase of pure realism.
Yeah.
You are signaling that both of your options are just genuinely unpleasant.
You're under no illusions about it.
Exactly.
So it's almost like a defensive phrase. You're acknowledging the damage up front.
Right.
I'm thinking about this in a work context. Say you are explaining a recent career move to your boss or a colleague, and you had to decide between a job with a grueling long commute or a job with a significantly lower salary.
Oof, yeah, tough choice.
Neither of those is a silver lining.
No, definitely not.
But you chose the lower paid job just to maintain your sanity and work-life balance,
Exactly. So you chose the damage you could tolerate. That lower salary was the lesser of two evils. You aren't pretending you like the pay cut.
Right, you're just acknowledging it hurts less than traffic.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But, before you pick the lesser of two evils, you have to actually think about it. Which brings us to our next idiom, turning things over.
Turning things over, yes.
I really like the spatial metaphor here. You're mentally holding an object, feeling its weight, looking at it from different angles, but...
Well, where's the line?
Yeah, where is the line between turning things over and just overthinking?
It's a great question, and it really comes down to control. Overthinking is, it's paralyzing. It's a negative state where your brain is running the same anxious loops.
Right, just spinning your wheels.
Exactly. But turning things over is deliberate. It implies careful, paced consideration.
So it sounds a lot more mature.
Very much so.
If you were in an IELTS exam, maybe, speaking part 2, and you had to describe making a difficult decision, admitting you overthought it sounds kind of frantic.
Right, it doesn't sound great.
But if you say, I received the job offer, but I needed to take a full week to turn it over in my mind before formally replying, you sound measured.
You sound incredibly responsible. Now, once you have finished turning it over, you have to actually communicate.
Right.
Which introduces our next phrase.
Ah.
Cards on the table.
Cards on the table. Obviously a poker reference, right?
Yep.
But people often use spilling the beans to mean revealing information. Are we just talking about synonyms here?
Not quite. Let's look at the mechanics. Spilling the beans usually implies an accidental leak.
Oh, like you messed up and told a secret.
Exactly. It's careless. But putting your cards on the table, think about poker. Your hidden cards are your entire leverage.
Right.
The moment you place them face up, you are deliberately making a strategic choice, to be completely honest.
Ah, so it's intentional. It's sitting down with your manager and saying, look, I need to put my cards on the table. I cannot take on any more work right now without flexible hours.
Yes. You aren't accidentally letting it slip. You are forcing a real negotiation.
That's a powerful move.
It really is. But what happens if the other person doesn't respond when you put your cards on the table?
Just total silence.
Yeah. Which gives us the idiom. Cat got your tongue.
Now, I know this is used when someone is quiet, but why not just say they're speechless?
What's fascinating here is the emotional weight. Speechless implies profound awe or shock, like looking at the Grand Canyon.
You are speechless.
Right. But cat got your tongue is a playful, slightly teasing idiom. It's used when someone is unusually or stubbornly quiet.
So you wouldn't say it in a true crisis.
No, definitely not.
But, okay, relatable anecdote time. You're pitching a wild idea to your colleagues in a meeting, and everyone goes dead silent.
Awkward.
Super awkward. So to break the ice, a colleague might joke, "What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?"
Exactly. It breaks attention playfully. Now, engaging in all these high-stakes communications, it takes a toll.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's shift to the physical and mental side of a demanding environment.
Right. Time, energy, control. And here's where it gets really interesting. The phrase precious little.
Precious little.
Because usually, precious is highly positive. A precious gem. How does it fit into stress?
It's a brilliant flip. If you say very little time, it's just a measurement.
Right.
But adding precious transforms it into an emotional statement about scarcity and urgency.
Okay, so if you are explaining to a colleague at work that because there was precious little time to finish the test or, prepare for a presentation, the team had to focus only on the main points.
Exactly. You are elevating the urgency. And having precious little time often leads to our next phrase.
Which is?
To wear yourself out.
Wear yourself out. Now, is that just a synonym for burnout?
No, actually, burnout is a chronic, long-term psychological condition.
Right, it takes months to recover from.
Exactly. Wearing yourself out is acute and temporary, like pushing too hard for a specific event.
So back to an IELTS scenario. You might describe how you wore yourself out preparing for a really busy festival, and you just needed a full day of scheduled short breaks to recover.
Perfect example. You aren't fundamentally broken, you just push too hard.
Just need to recharge.
Right. And when you're worn out, your immune system drops, which introduces catch a chill.
Okay, catch a chill versus catch a cold. What's the distinction?
A chill is that mild, shivering onset, usually from being wet or cold. A cold is the full-blown viral illness.
Oh, like that shiver down your spine. Again, great for IELTS. Describing an unlucky walk home in the pouring rain without a jacket. You catch a chill and you immediately need to rest with hot tea.
Exactly. Now, to avoid wearing yourself out, you have to manage your environment. You have to keep things in check.
Keep in check. How is that different from suppressing something?
Suppressing means forcefully pushing something down so it completely disappears. Keeping it in check means carefully managing it so it doesn't overgrow.
Like pruning a plant. Say you're telling your boss how you keep your weekly project spending in check by rigorously tracking expenses.
Perfect. You aren't spending $0, but you're managing it carefully.
Because if you don't keep it in check, things get thrown into chaos, which is our next phrase.
Throw into chaos.
No, compare that to just disrupting something.
A disruption is clinical. It can be minor. But being thrown into chaos implies a total, sudden loss of order and usually an element of panic.
Right, so a delayed meeting is a disruption.
Yes.
But an unexpected power cut throwing an evening corporate event into the dark that is throwing it into chaos. Or last-minute canceled travel plans. Total chaos.
Exactly. Total loss of order.
Okay.
Okay, for our final instructional segment, let's look at character traits and relationships in these environments.
Ooh, starting with crafty old devil.
A great craze.
It is. But if they are crafty, how is a crafty old devil different from a con artist?
A con artist is malicious, but a crafty old devil is a highly affectionate, playful term. It's for someone who uses clever tricks to solve problems.
Oh, I see. Like an IELTS description of a grandfather, or a clever neighbor who always found witty ways to fix things around the house.
Exactly. But even with people you love, like that crafty old devil, there's friction, which gives us the family squabble.
Squabble. Great word. Compared to a family feud.
A feud is bitter. It lasts for years. A squabble is minor, petty, and usually ends in laughter.
Right, so an IELTS memory of a family squabble over who would wash the dishes or who got the last slice of cake.
Exactly. But beneath those squabbles is deep connection, being unswervingly loyal.
Unswervingly loyal. That sounds much stronger than just being supportive.
It is. It means refusing to abandon someone, even when it's extremely difficult or they are facing severe challenges.
Like a best friend who remained unswervingly loyal during a really risky career change.
Exactly. It's a rare trait. Which brings us to a humorous pivot. Sometimes loyalty means staying friends with someone who has a terrible reputation for something.
Right. Earning a dubious honor.
A dubious honor.
Is that like a backhanded compliment?
Similar, but a backhanded compliment is praise that hides an insult. A dubious honor is an actual distinction that is fundamentally embarrassing.
Oh man, like that one colleague who earned the dubious honor of arriving dead last to every single meeting that month.
Exactly.
Or earning the dubious honor of being blamed for a missing file.
Right. It's an award you really don't want.
All right, well, we have covered a ton of ground today. And now it is time to put you, the listener, to the test with our superbly said vocabulary quiz.
Let's see how these nuances are settled.
Here is how this works. I will read option A, option B, and option C for each question exactly as provided in our source material. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer. Ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. Which sentence uses the idiomatic phrase, lesser of two evils, correctly based on context? Option A. The highly religious community priest delivered a very long sermon analyzing traditional structural evils. Option B. The completely confused amateur theater group unexpectedly decided to proudly paint a green needles. Option C. Accepting that low-paid temporary position was unfortunately the undeniable lesser of two evils. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option C. Accepting that low-paid temporary position was, unfortunately, the undeniable lesser of two evils. Remember our example, choosing a lower salary over a grueling commute. That is the lesser of two evils. You weigh the bad options, and you pick the lesser of two evils.
Great. Question 2. Select the context where the phrase cards on the table is most appropriately used. Option A. During negotiations, he put his cards on the table and stated his targets. Option B. The professional casino dealers carefully dealt those expensive matching plastic cards on tables. Option C. The incredibly clumsy warehouse inventory clerk accidentally managed to quickly buy some large cables. Again, feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option A. During negotiations, he put his cards on the table and stated his targets. Just like being totally honest with your boss about your workload. You lay it all out, you put your cards on the table. Cards on the table.
Moving on. Question 3. In which situation does someone accurately utilize the advanced idiom, cat got your tongue? Option A. The highly trained veterinary surgical specialist carefully examined that stray cat got your tongue. Option B. When you suddenly went completely silent during negotiations, she joked, cat got your tongue. Option C. The completely terrified young wilderness traveler unexpectedly noticed an exceptionally massive wild young sponge. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option B. When you suddenly went completely silent during negotiations, she joked, cat got your tongue. Like that awkward silence in a meeting we discussed. You break the ice by asking, cat got your tongue, cat got your tongue.
All right, question 4. Which response best demonstrates the advanced phrasal verb, wear yourself out? Option A. If you continuously accept extra corporate shifts, you will absolutely wear yourself out. Option B. The highly fashionable clothing store designer explicitly advised customers to wear formal clothing out. Option C. The incredibly clumsy warehouse inventory clerk accidentally managed to quickly tear that old shout. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option A. If you continuously accept extra corporate shifts, you will absolutely wear yourself out. We talked about needing a recovery day after that big festival project. When you push too hard acutely, you wear yourself out. Wear yourself out.
Halfway there. Question 5. How would a professional accurately use the phrase precious little contextually? Option A. The highly enthusiastic antique jewelry collector happily discovered a completely pristine, beautiful, precious diamond. Option B. The completely confused amateur theater group unexpectedly decided to proudly buy a tiny brittle. Option C. Because we possess precious little time before departure, everyone worked exceptionally fast today. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option C. Because we possess precious little time before departure, everyone worked exceptionally fast today. Remember the urgency before a big presentation. When resources are scarce, you have precious little. Precious little.
Question 6. Which scenario perfectly illustrates the meaning of keep in check figuratively? Option A. The professional bank accountant carefully instructed the client to write a large financial check. Option B. You must find effective structural mechanisms to keep your personal operational spending in check. Option C. The incredibly clumsy hotel maintenance worker accidentally managed to completely drop that red deck. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option B. You must find effective structural mechanisms to keep your personal operational spending in check. Like managing project expenses, right? You don't eliminate it, you just keep it in check. Keep in check.
Question 7. Which sentence accurately utilizes the advanced phrase, throw into chaos figuratively? Option A. That unexpected regional power outage managed to completely throw our corporate event into chaos. Option B. The highly trained athletic competitor explicitly attempted to throw that heavy metal javelin. Option C. The deeply confused young kitchen assistant accidentally managed to quickly slice a fresh mouse. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option A. That unexpected regional power outage managed to completely throw our corporate event into chaos. Just like canceled flight travel plans, total loss of order means you throw into chaos. Throw into chaos.
And our final question, question 8. Which of the following statements correctly uses dubious honor contextually? Option A. The highly prestigious International Academy proudly presented a completely undisputed major lifetime achievement honor. Option B. He earned the highly dubious honor of arriving dead last to every meeting. Option C. The completely confused amateur artist unexpectedly managed to beautifully paint a giant yellow corner. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option B. He earned the highly dubious honor of arriving dead last to every meeting. Just like the notoriously late colleague we mentioned earlier, it's an award you don't want. A dubious honor. Dubious honor.
And that is the end of the quiz. If you made it through and got those right, huge congratulations to you.
It's not easy material.
No, it really isn't. So what does this all mean? It means true language fluency isn't just about stringing verbs and nouns together.
Right.
It's about choosing the precise tools,
Absolutely. Fluency is about texture. And I'll leave you with a final thought to mull over. Idioms, they are the fingerprints of a culture.
Ooh, I like that.
We just learned that English speakers say, "Cat, got your tongue for silence," or "cards on the table for honesty." But if you were to literally translate the idioms for speechless or honesty from your native language into English, what bizarre and beautiful imagery would you create?
Wow, yeah.
Think about how your own language's idioms reflect the history of your culture. And hey, try explaining them to your next partner on SpeakDuo.
That is a fantastic challenge to end on. Thanks for joining us, everyone.